Hey everyone, you've joined me in section 6, Contentful Content Infrastructure. And in this video, we'll be talking about what Contentful is. Contentful is an API-first CMS, which stands for Content Management System. In the simplest sense, a CMS is a tool that makes it possible for you to manage site content without needing to know anything about programming. So we can better understand exactly what type of CMS Contentful is, let's backtrack a little and talk about traditional CMSs and headless CMSs. Chances are, even if you've never heard of a CMS before, you've heard of WordPress. It's been around for over 10 years and has a very large user base. WordPress is the top content management system and accounts for over 58% of the CMS market share, and it powers 27% of the internet. If you think about how many websites are out there, that's a pretty impressive number of sites running on WordPress. One of the reasons why WordPress is so popular is because of its simplicity. Everything is all packaged up for you and ready to go. And the best part is you don't have to be a developer. In fact, you don't even have to work with a developer. Individuals looking to create their own website or small companies that want to create a website for their company without a dev on the team to build a site from scratch, well, they can do that easily by selecting a WordPress template. This is why it's so popular. It can be easily used by anyone to create professional-looking websites where content can be easily added. The downfall of a traditional CMS like WordPress is that you're restricted to using a template and aren't able to add additional functionality. If you're a developer or you have developers working for you and you want to design your own front end, then a headless CMS may be a better option for you. A headless CMS is very similar to a traditional CMS, but with one key difference. It doesn't have a front end and delivers content to your app through an API. This decoupling of content and the UI gives you much greater flexibility as it makes it possible for front-end engineers to build unique websites that stand out from the crowd. The obvious downfall here, the opposite to the problem with WordPress, is that you either need to be a developer or you need to have a developer on your team. This obviously isn't applicable to everyone. If you've read about Contentful, chances are you'll come across someone whom at some point classifies Contentful solely as a headless CMS. While this isn't entirely untrue, it's also not exactly on point. If you look at the Contentful website, you'll soon discover that the product is described as content infrastructure and that Contentful is a type of headless CMS. Here's a quote directly from the Contentful website. Content infrastructure is a type of headless CMS, but it doesn't take the traditional approach of organizing content around pages. Instead, it starts with a content model or a framework for organizing types of content and defining how each type relates to each other. While traditional and headless CMSs have been an adequate tool for individuals and companies of varying sizes for some time now, they no longer fit the needs of the digital world as it currently stands. Any successful business not only needs to be able to build software, they also need to make it successful on a number of different platforms on a countless number of devices. Contentful makes it easy to edit and reuse content and allow developers to simultaneously collaborate thanks to their agile framework. Before we wrap up, I want to mention that it's always about picking the tool that's right for you. Contentful may be exactly what you want as an individual, or what you and your team are looking for. Maybe it's a solo project and working with markdown files suits you just fine. Wherever you land, I think it's definitely worth at least checking out Contentful and having a play around with it. So even if you think you may not use Contentful moving forward, I encourage you to stick with section 6 and at least check it out, have a play around with it. It is a really, really great CMS.